Welcome back. Oh my goodness. I tell you what, this game's horrible. You just don't buy it because you're going to have your emotions played with. We're looking at Under the Iron Sky. Actually, it's Deadly Northern Lights, but it's the Under the Iron Sky system or the 1985 system, depending on what you want to call it. I'm deep into turn 4, and we are struggling as the Soviets, but also not doing that badly as the Soviets, and it's really making my head hurt. The air war that I posted a video on previously, the NATO forces decided to go hardcore on this zone. They won. They inflicted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage markers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps of damage on the air. It just an absolute freaking beatdown. I'm just making a note here now that I'm counting that stuff. So NATO took air supremacy here, which means that anything that we try and do in this zone as the Soviets is going to be very difficult to bring air support in. I kind of went all in on this zone, but also had to make sure I kept this zone supported with air superiority, and then the one just out of frame here as well. Actually, these they're mines, they're fine. Okay, so I had to spread myself a little thinner, and that gave the NATO guys an opportunity to jump all in on one zone and knock me out of air supremacy here, air superiority. So as the Soviets came in, what they were wanting to do was capture this hex, which they have done. So that's the good news. We now control all of Stockholm. So we'll get all the VPs, the cumulative VPs for all those hexes, and the points for the city itself. So that's good because they need those points. But it was extremely expensive. We are now down. Our armored division here had taken 2-step losses on the transfer over. Been attacked by subs and ships and all sorts of fun stuff. The Norwegian Navy, or was it the German? I don't know which one it was, but the West German Navy really sunk a lot of transport ships, which affected this armored division. So they only had 1 step, and they went into this fight, brought a bunch of helos to the fight. Because these guys had air superiority, we had to go run the interception rules there for that. Nasty stuff. You just lose steps if you roll the wrong number, and we lost a bunch of steps. So that was pretty painful. And then that basically left us. Then these guys actually. Also, here's a thing that we may have done incorrectly, and I'll have to think about it. I'm not going to mention it right now because it won't impact the combat result, because we're attacking across a river here into modestly rough terrain and across a bridge. So big negative mods. We had the +3 mod for the 3 losses. The electronic warfare roll failed. Their electronic warfare roll succeeded. And so it just didn't go well. And I ended up with an A1. Now, the good news is I took the step loss, so we're now down to a divisional base. But I get to keep the hex. And underneath that guy is a EW unit. I believe there's a engineering unit, and then there's also a flak, supporting flak unit as well. So just a beatdown. The rest of the turn, we just moved these guys into sort of defensive positions to hold the city for the moment, keeping the river line here. I managed to successfully transport this headquarters element and 2 more regiments that will be able to sort of penny parcel out, I guess. But you know, I lost 2. Yeah, I lost two helo units, so that was a really significant blow because they add a lot of combat factors, and we would have been running a 7-to-1 attack if that had all gone in versus what ended up being basically a 1-to-1 attack. So nasty stuff. Now it could have been either a 1-to-1 or a 2-to-1 attack. If you choose to spend more movement points, I could have done a different type of attack. We could have attacked using a different mode of combat, and that would have boosted my combat value doing that. But we could have done assault from march, or column assault, or a single echelon assault, or a standard assault, and that's what I chose, a standard assault, because my intention was to clear this hex and then perhaps try and run up here to there's a city up here somewhere. I can't see it. I mean, the camera's in front of me here. I was going to try and run a unit up there to capture that if I managed to push these guys out of the way, or we had a very beneficial result. Nevertheless, it didn't happen. It's not looking good for the Soviets. I'm going to have to add up the points, the VP points at the end of this turn, and we'll see where they're at. It may not even be worthwhile doing turn 5, but we'll stick with it and we'll see how we go. All the best, and talk to you soon. Roll dice.